What's up everyone, Ronnie Chavez here, and today we're going to be learning, in my opinion, one of the coolest free running tricks you can do. Not necessarily the hardest, it is pretty challenging, but if done in video or in slow motion, just looks so cool. Looks just like something from a Matrix movie or something like that. This is the 3-step wall flip. And what's so cool about it is the wall flip by itself is really awesome, but then you add in 2 steps and you're even more awesome, doing 2 steps up a wall and flipping, but then 3 steps plus the use of your hands if you want to. Just looks like you're running up the wall like Spider-Man or a superhero, going into a huge high backflip and flipping over, landing on your feet again. It's the coolest thing ever, and it's the coolest feeling once you learn how to do it. So today, that's what we're going to be learning, is a 3-step wall flip, and specifically I'm going to be teaching you the variation of how to use your hands when you do it, because that's my preferred variation and I feel it's the safest way to do it, but you can still just do a normal 3-step wall flip. But anyways, before actually trying the 3-step wall flip, you'll obviously want to already be able to do a backflip, a 1-step wall flip, and a 2-step wall flip. And once you have those things down and feel very confident and comfortable with them, then you'll be ready to do the 3-step wall flip. Now the reason you want to be super confident in those things is because you're going to be going really high with a 3-step wall flip, and you're going to be doing a lot of steps, and if you happen to slip or mess up, if you have a really good backflip down and know what you're doing, then you can most of the time recover out of it because you're high enough to know how to flip around and at least not land on your head. But if you don't and you mess up going that high, then it's bad news. So make sure that you're in a safe environment when learning this trick, especially in a gym with padding or things like that, or on a slanted wall over grass somewhere soft, as long as you're very confident in the area you're learning it in and you're safe and maybe have friends spotting you. Now that we got all of our safety preparations out of the way, let's jump into it. Alright, the first thing you want to do when getting ready to learn the 3-step wall flip is before actually going for it. You want to practice the actual running motion you're going to be doing. So find a wall or padded wall, whatever you're going to be doing it on, that's very grippy, that your shoes or feet are going to stick to very well, because you don't want to slip on this trick. And then once you're at your wall, you're going to just test it out, do a couple wall runs, do a basic step up like you would practice some 1-step wall flips, 2-step wall flips. Make sure you get comfortable with that. Then go ahead and practice the 3-step wall run just by itself without the flip yet. And the main thing to focus on is that your first step is going to be powerful. You want to use your momentum to push into it and get a lot of height from it, and mainly you're just driving upwards on that first step. The second step is kind of pushing at a 45-degree angle, so you're going to be pushing out just a little bit but still going up. And then your third step is mainly just pushing away from the wall. And when you do the actual flip, that third step is going to also help give you a little bit of flick into your actual flip. But the main thing to focus on is that your steps are powerful and fast. Because it's happened so fast and you want to get as much energy transferred into the wall as possible, you want your steps to happen quickly, because if your steps are slow, then you're going to be losing energy every step. So the faster your steps are, the more efficient you can transfer that energy into height going off the wall, as well as the rotational flip. Now that you're comfortable with the 3-step wall run, the next step is to, well, go into the backflip. Make sure you, once again, are in a safe environment once you're ready to do the backflip. And when you are ready to do it, you want to make sure you commit to it and that you're confident, because any hesitation in the air or any second guessing yourself as you start it can end badly. But as long as you're committed, even if you mess up, you're more likely to get around successfully than if you're just kind of half committed and then bail halfway in the air. That's how bad things happen. So once you're committed and you're ready to go for it, what you want to know and keep in mind as you're doing the actual steps into the wall flip is, once again, that first step is going to be setting you up, giving you power, just like you're doing the normal wall run. Then the second step is, once again, going to be going back slightly and up, but you're also going to start leaning backwards into the actual backflip at this point. You're not completely backflipping yet, but you're starting that motion like you're setting and leaning back into the backflip. And then your third step, you're going to be quickly tapping against the wall, kind of mainly pushing you away from the wall. At the same time, it's going to give you a little bit of flick to to get more rotation. Now, I personally, when doing the 3-step wall flip, like to use my hands on the wall because I feel it's much safer and I can get more power and height on the wall. Now, how I use my hands is after the first step, I'm actually using my hands, planting them against the wall, almost like I would do a palm flip or something like that, to kind of push my body up and just out a little bit so that I can bring my feet underneath me and do the second and third step. And what that does is it allows me to feel like I have a lot more control of the actual wall run. When I'm doing just 3 steps by themselves, which I won't even do the plain 3 steps on this wall here because I'm scared of actually slipping out and messing up. So the hands actually help me feel more confident that I'm not gonna slip as much, because what's happening is by the second and third step, because I've used my hands to kind of position my body where I want it to be, then I'm leaning back slightly and my feet are in front of me so that I'm pushing more up and away instead of straight down, because the more straight down your feet are pushing on the wall, the higher chance you have of slipping. Whereas if you're pushing against the wall, then you're going to not slip as likely. So with that hand plant, that first step is gonna really get me up, get my chest up. My hands again are gonna help me get higher, keep my chest higher while still allowing me to push, kind of tuck just a little bit to bring my feet in to do the second and third step. And once again, those 2 steps happen very quickly after the first step and the hand plant. So altogether, it's just a very fast running, planting, jumping, flipping motion. What also helps with this trick is to practice the wall run itself a lot, to where it's just in your muscle memory, so you don't have to worry about thinking about every single step when you're actually going for the backflip, because by that time you also want to be thinking about the backflip. But if you think too much about the backflip, then it can distract you from your steps, and you want to make sure everything is controlled and coordinated as you do this trick so that you can do it all in one motion and you're not going to mess up in one area. So it's good to practice each section in pieces so that you can get very comfortable with it and have it locked down in your muscle memory. Now that we have the steps and the hand plant down, then going into the flip, because you're so high and you're already leaning back so much, at that point it's just kicking away and just kind of throwing your arms and arching your back into a basic backflip motion, and then just spot your landing, and you're gonna be pretty high up, so be prepared for that. I wouldn't try and tuck it so hard or anything like that, because it might just make you over rotate, and you don't wanna over rotate. The other great thing with using your hands on the wall is it's naturally gonna set them up for your second 2 steps and then pushing into the backflip. Because you're pushing your arms back like this, they're already gonna be in position to start throwing into the backflip layout. So those are the basic things you want to think about when doing the 3-step wall flip. It's a really fun move to do once you get it, and especially when you're confident with it and can do it anywhere. It's just one of those tricks that just makes you feel like a superhero, makes you feel like a ninja, and your friends are going to be impressed. So anyways, let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments about this move, and I'll be sure to help you out. And also let me know if you have any requests for additional tutorials, because once again, I'm pumping out a lot of tutorials this summer. So just stay tuned, be sure to subscribe for that, and thanks for watching.